It is now time to enter a LEGO world where we jump up, kick back, whip around and spin. Then we jump back, do it again. Ninja, go! Ninja, go! Hey everyone, Cameos Prime here, so it's time for the next review in my reviews for the franchise of the LEGO Movie, and this is of course for the third installment, which was actually released in the same year as the second installment of the LEGO Battle Movie, which I reviewed last week. And this is a film which is once again a spin-off to the original film, which focuses on a character who of course made a brief cameo appearance as a master builder in the first movie. And that, of course, as you will probably remember, is the Green Ninja. And that being said, today's review is going to be for, of course, 2017's The Lego Ninjago Movie. So how was this film made then? So, an animated feature film based on the Ninjago franchise was announced in September 2013 by Warner Brothers, with the Hageman brothers writing the adaptation, while Charlie Bean was hired to direct the film, with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, Dan Lin and Roy Lee producing. And following, of course, the success of the LEGO Movie in 2014, the film was announced to be originally released in September 2016, but was later changed to a year later in 2017. The cast were then signed on to voice a character in 2016 from June to August, and just like the previous two films, animation was done by Animal Logic, and the music was also scored by Mark Mothersbaugh, who returns from the first LEGO Movie, and with several artists as well performing new original songs for the film. When it comes to the film's release, it was of course released in the United States on September 22nd, 2017 in 2D, 3D and Dolby Cinema formats. It received mixed reviews from critics and was the franchise's first box office disappointment, which grossed only $123.1 million worldwide against its $70 million budget. When it comes to my reaction to this film then, so when this film first came out, I at the time had not seen the Ninjago TV series that this film is based on, so back then I was not interested in checking out a movie, but eventually, a few years ago, I did of course start watching the show, and I regard the older parts of Ninjago as one of my favourite animated series of all time nowadays. So I then thought, you know what, let's check out a movie. So I remember watching the film for the first time on Amazon Prime, and I gotta say that I really enjoyed it. I thought it was once again a very good movie. I mean, is it as good as the show? Not in my opinion, no. In my opinion, the show will always be the best Ninjago franchise ever. But I think this film, for what it is worth, is a pretty good movie. So what is the movie about? So, the film focuses on a teenage ninja, Lord Garmadon, as he attempts to accept the truth about his sinister father, who is of course Lord Garmadon, and learn what it truly means to be a ninja warrior as a new threat emerges to endanger his homeland. So, when it comes, of course, to what I think is good about this film then, so I think it has a really great voice cast of actors, like how the last two films have already. So, the Green Ninja himself, Lord Garmadon, is voiced by Dave Franco, and I definitely regard Lloyd as my favourite voice role of Dave Franco. I think he's a good actor, and I must say that considering that Dave Franco was in his 30s when he voiced his character, I think he was about 32 or something, I think, at the time this film was released, he did a very good convincing job sounding so young, because Lloyd's a teenager, so he did a very, very good job with his voice, really well. And I also definitely love the addition as well of Michael Pena as Kai as well. I thought he was definitely pretty funny in Mrs. Kai, in my opinion. Michael Pena is so funny in many of his roles, and Kai is definitely no exception. And I also definitely love the addition as well of Kumail Nanjiani as Jay as well. I definitely thought he was great as Jay, and definitely my favourite voice role of his. Definitely, in my opinion, much better than his voice role in that garbage film which I call Men in Black Woke National. And I also definitely love Abby Jacobson as Nia as well, and also Zach Woods as Zane as well. Although it is one thing that they did with Zane which I personally wasn't really a fan of in this film, but I did like Zach Woods' performance as him nonetheless. I also definitely like Fred Armisen as Cole, and for those of you who are wondering, Cole is also my favourite ninja in the show, and While I think Fred was good, in my opinion, no one can play the character of Cole better than Kirby Morrow. Rest in peace. Kirby Morrow to me always will be Cole, and he to me will never be topped in my opinion. For that, I'm still good though. I did also as well really love the casting as well of Jackie Chan as Master Wu, who of course is the leader of the ninjas, and of course is a brother of the film's villain, Lord Garmadon. And Jackie Chan will always be my favourite martial artist actor of all time, absolute legend, and I think he was a perfect casting as Master Wu, just perfect casting right there, because he's such a popular name in the martial arts franchises and films. So to cast someone like him as the Master of the Ninjas, just perfect right there, just genius. And in terms of a live action thing as well, we even as well will have Jackie Chan appearing at both the start and the end of the film as the shopkeeper, Mr. Liu. So that was definitely really cool to see him appear in this as well as voicing Sensei Wu. So it's making me wonder, was he a human version of Sensei Wu? I wonder. And when it comes to the film's main villain as well, I definitely as well really love Justin Theroux as Lord Garmadon, who of course is Lloyd's father and Master Wu's brother. And I think he did a really great job playing Garmadon. He was so funny in my opinion too. And definitely as well in my opinion, both funny and menacing at the same time. I think he did a very good job playing Garmadon in this. Justin Theroux's a good actor. And But when it comes to Garmadon, though, in my opinion, though, no one can voice that character better than Mark Oliver, in my opinion, from the show. But I still think Justin Theroux did a very good job of what he was given in the role. And I also, though, definitely as well love the addition as well of Olivia Munn as Lloyd's mother, Coco. I thought she did a very good job playing Coco in this, with what she was given. Although there is about quotes I do have with Coco in this, being that, of course, her name was changed from the show, because in the show, her name isn't Coco, it's Misako. So, yeah, I didn't really like how they changed her name for some reason in this film. I don't know why they did that. That, in my opinion, was a very questionable decision. And as well as that, there's also as well other good roles in this too from actors too. So we have some cameos from people such as Randall Park and Retta as the cheerleaders, as who bully Lloyd. They were pretty unlikable though, but I still think that they both did well playing Chen and Maggie. And you also had as well Constance Wu as a mayor in Ninjago. And we as well had Chris Hardwick appearing in a cameo as a radio DJ, which is pretty cool. Chris Hardwick's awesome. And when it comes as well to the Lego news anchors in this, what's interesting is they change the anchors for the different versions of the film. So if you're watching a film in the United States of America, then you'll have, of course, Robin Roberts and Michael Strahan appearing as themselves in Lego form. But if you're watching it in the UK version, like me, for example, they got replaced by Kate Galway and Ben Shepherd. So I think it's interesting how they change the anchors for different audiences, really, across the world, really. It's interesting, really. But I guess it's consistent for the countries. But personally, I wouldn't have minded it sticking to the American version, if I'm to be completely honest. But yeah, it is pretty cool how they're changing it for the audiences, though. And as well as that as well, other great things about the film. So aside from, of course, a good voice cast of actors, I definitely as well wanted to love animation. The animation, in my opinion, was gorgeous and very stunning, just like the last two films. And even though, of course, it looks similar to stop motion, it's all CGI, and it's just very impressive, really. Just brilliant, in my opinion. And I think as well, there's also really good action scenes, too. I mean, guys, this is a ninja franchise, so of course, there's going to be lots of action scenes which are going to be good, right? And thankfully, this film delivers really well at that. So, definitely a lot of fun to see in this, and I think because of the action scenes, the film is very well paced, because this film is 101 minutes, and in my opinion, it's paced really well because of those action scenes, so it doesn't get boring or anything like that. It's very well paced, in my opinion. And also, as well, Mark Mothersbaugh does a very good job with music in this, and when it comes as well to pre-existing material in this, I do love how, as an Easter egg, Lloyd's ringtone on his phone is the Ninjago theme song from the show, which I definitely really love, because that's one of my favourite show or themes of all time, and I definitely love how they included it in this. And when it comes to CGI for non-Lego things in this, one CGI that I think was very impressive was probably, of course, the cat, Meowthra. Like, that CGI, in my opinion, was very impressive, because when I first saw a film, I at first thought it was a real cat, until I, of course, rewatched the film and I looked close and realised it was CGI. It was definitely, in my opinion, very impressive. And As well as that, there's also lots of funny moments too as well, which are just so funny to see, really. So this film definitely delivers really good humour once again, like the last two films did. And as well as that, there is also some heartwarming moments too in this, just like the last two films had as well. So I like how it keeps consistent in that sense, really. Such as, for example, the scene of course where Lord apologises to Garmadon. I definitely really like that scene. And I definitely think we did a really great job with this. So great characters and great animation, great music, great action scenes, and a pretty good story too as well, really. I definitely really like that. And in terms of as well of staying faithful to the show as well and making a respectful adaptation, Vino as well brought in the Hageman brothers who created the show as writers, which is really brilliant. So I like how we got them in as writers for this. And there's even as well some pretty funny things in terms of behind the scenes, because in the credits of the film you can see a gag reel of Jackie Chan catching flying balls, which is definitely really cool. Jackie Chan's an absolute legend. And as well as that, I think the film was also very creative, in which, of course, it did the Warner Brothers Pictures and Animation Group and the logos of start to film like that in Japanese style. That definitely was, in my opinion, very creative, and I definitely really love seeing that, because I definitely really love Japan as a country, so seeing that definitely made me very happy. And I also love the characters in this are very likeable with good development as well. I've already talked about how I really like Lloyd. I think he's a very likeable character in this, and he gets lots of development, because he starts off as a teen who wishes that Garmadon wasn't his father because he's a villain. But as the plot progresses, he likes Garmadon more, and eventually becomes close to him. And as well as that, I do think Garmadon's also a bit funny too as well. But there's a bit of a course I do have a Garmadon though when it comes to that character though. But I still think he was really funny though, and I love how he wants to spend father and son time with Lloyd. So that's what's good about our film. But if I was thinking about qualities, I've already mentioned that I didn't like how he changed Mizako's name to Coco. That, in my opinion, wasn't good. And earlier I also mentioned as well Zane, because while I thought he was funny in this film and was still a likeable character, I didn't really like how in this he was a full-on robot rather than having, like, emotion. I don't understand why they made him a proper, like, full-on robot in this, because that's not who Zane is, because despite, of course, being a Nindroid, he still, of course, has emotions, really, and some human qualities. Even like I mentioned, got it right about him, but this film for some reason made him a full-on robot, so yeah, I wonder why they changed him so much. Yeah, I didn't really like how they changed Zane to be a full-on robot. I prefer him where he's showing human qualities, like emotion, really. Yeah, I didn't really like how what did to Zane in this. I also didn't like how in this film the ninjas did not use their spin jutsu ability despite being mentioned. So I don't understand why they didn't use that ability in this film. That, in my opinion, was disappointing, because I think that's a very important element of the franchise, spin jutsu. So I didn't like how it was cut out. And when it comes as well to Garmadon, at first I think he's a bit of a weak villain, because he starts off as a typical take over the world type of villain, and because he's an evil villain, but that's, in my opinion, different to the show, because the show's version is completely different. I mean, if you watch a show then you watch a film, you'll definitely see what I'm talking about. And I also didn't really like the scene where he explains about what you can do with 4 arms too. That, in my opinion, was inappropriate for a family-friendly movie, in my opinion. And I also feel like the scenes in the live action during the film, of course, where we see, like, these fast shots of characters in live action with flashing lights, that, in my opinion, was just not really a good thing to include. And it was, in my opinion, out of place for a Lego family-friendly movie, in my opinion. I didn't really like the addition of that. And I feel the start of the film is also mean-spirited towards Lloyd too, in that sense, because everyone's, of course, bullying him just because he's Garmadon's son. I didn't really like that, to be honest, really. And I also, as well, feel that, as well, it was also a bad idea for him to cut out the relationships between the ninjas, because it doesn't mention that Nia and Kali brother and sister. And it also, as well, doesn't mention that Cole and Jay have a crush on Nia either, so yeah, I didn't really like how we cut that out of the film, really. So that's what I can say, really, when it comes to bad qualities. But other than that, I think it's still a very good movie and definitely a lot of fun. And as somebody who's seen the show and then the movie, I think the film did a very good job when it comes, of course, to adapting the show, really. And then, of course, we also as well got the Lego Ninjago movie video game too, which I've also played and platinumed on PS4. It's a pretty good game, in my opinion, pretty decent, but I think the film is slightly better, in my opinion. So, that being said, that was, of course, me doing my review for LEGO Ninjago movie. So, if I was to give this film a score out of 10, I'd probably give it a very solid score of 8 out of 10. Because I think it's a very good movie, but there's only a few bad quarters I do have of it compared to the other two films I've reviewed, where I think it's a bit weaker in comparison. But in my opinion, it's the last great movie, as far as I'm concerned, because the next one coming up, I'm personally not a fan of. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to rewatching that for its review, so yeah, wish me luck. But anyway, guys, this is, of course, me doing my review for LEGO Ninjago movie. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to tell me in the comments what you guys think of the LEGO Ninjago movie. If you've seen it in the comments below, what you think of it. Also, be sure to join the team plan by pressing subscribe if it's coming in the future. And I'll see you all later.